And we're live. Yes, hello, yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live reality game show podcast. I'm your token gay host, Lee. With me is the Michigan token gay, well, one of many, and our sadly recent boot. It's Adam, aka AJ. How are you doing?
I am doing good. As you can see, I've escaped the depressing cavity that is Sam's ass, and we're living, we're vibing.
I mean, very few can tell the tale of that escape.
Very few, very few. I barely
Very
made it out alive.
somehow you made it out, but in a very sad and emotional way. I think let's get the big thing out of the way. Your boot episode, how you went home, the madness that happens, just what was can you explain what was going on, or if you can remember what happened 3 years ago, or have you just blocked that out of your memory?
Well, I will be honest. As soon as I got home from being voted out, I did drink an entire fifth. We were living in the feelings at the time, and it is a little fuzzy. I don't. Oh, is this a Gabon thing? I don't know
Yeah, it
Gabon.
looks like it.
I'm so sorry. I heard Gabon's great though.
It's
Um,
all right.
it's all right. I we're, I'm gonna get on a tangent, so we're just gonna continue.
Oh, that's what we're here
Um,
for.
I mean, if we want to get into Gabon, we can get into Gabon and not talk about me and my game.
I mean, I've gone on tangents about Survivor, The Challenge, any sort of reality television. I've just gone on tangents that do not ever relate to what we're doing. But yeah, what was happening in your head when Brady attempted to snuff your torch?
Um, Honestly, I was kind of like, I like smiled and I like nodded and I kind of like felt it going into tribal. And I feel like it was a little bit more than the usual, like, oh shit, I'm gonna go home this tribal that I like experienced every single tribal. But I was just like content, you know, because I knew where I was like mentally at that time. I was either killing it or like so like or like dead. Um and I was dead. Uh it, it was just a wild day because it was a very short, I believe, challenge to tribal turnover. I don't remember how long, but it felt really short. And I remember like being on the top of the world like 1 second, and then as soon as like I saw my name, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And when I went to go vote, I'll never forget this. When I went to go vote, I heard a little voice in my head say, "You should vote Leia." And I had to like physically like shake it out of my head, like, no, I'm going to stay strong. I'm going to stay loyal. These people mean so much to me. These people saved me numerous times. I deserve, I owe it to them to be loyal. And maybe I shouldn't have been loyal to Bree, but I think where I was like emotionally and mentally and also like academically at that point in the school year, it probably was for the best. I already had failed a class at that point. I was like, I gotta like actually pass this semester with some credits to make it worth it.
Yeah, it's like you're at the point where it's like, okay, winning Survivor Michigan, graduating from Michigan, it's like very much like one kind of outweighs the other. What
For a
kind
little
of
bit, I think for each and every one of us, for a little bit, it was winning Survivor Michigan above all of our grades.
yeah.
Everyone had that point.
Now, was this little voice that was telling you to vote Leia, did it sound vaguely Cooperish?
No, it actually, honestly, it sounded like Darlene. Um, but
Oh,
I see. I I feel like for the past like few years, Cooper like didn't know like how close I was to flipping. Like it was very 50-50, like at tribal, still debating as I was like writing, going to write up the name. Um, but because I feel like past then it's always been like Andrew and Cooper thinks AJ is like not the smartest person in the bunch. But yeah. Sorry, what was the question? I lost track.
Oh, did the voice sound like Cooper, pretty much?
Oh, yeah. I think Cooper wanted to be the voice so bad that I just didn't want to let him be that voice.
Yeah, but sadly to Bree and Bailey, they let him be the voice, and I think you
They
said it once, you said,
did.
"You made Cooper right,"
They
'cause
did make Cooper right.
even though it was their move, your exit kinda made it sound like you just did what Cooper said was going to happen, so congratulations on being predictable or making Cooper right.
I don't want it to like sound like I thought they were, that Cooper was
Being
like
used by
controlling everything
Cooper,
behind this.
because
Yeah.
clearly he
Uh
wasn't.
yeah. Yeah, no. Very much a Cooper voice I should have listened to.
Yeah, and you bring up Bree, and then this question comes up, like, Bree, for some reason, had a weird, like, almost Sarah Cooper obsession with just, like, wanting to get you out for reasons that she just did not, like, game you. So what was that like watching it back? Was it very Jackson talking about how shit you are back in season 4?
Honestly, that I kind of expected. Not the breed, the Jackson. But
Yeah,
with Brie,
obviously.
I like knew she hated me after the Emily B vote. Rightfully so. But I did not like I was like kind of taken aback and I was like, oh my God, Brie actually like hated me. And I was like, I hope she doesn't feel that way now because I was obsessed with Brie and I stay obsessed with Brie. And if I could, occupy even the tiniest of corner in Brie's mind, I would be ever so grateful. Whether that be I'm gonna kill you, AJ, or you're gonna be my bestie, AJ. You know, um, but no, Bree and I are cool now. I love Bree. Even during the game, I think you saw during that meeting where Bree kind of was like, "Yeah, I forgive you," and like obviously having like a very sus body posture and face, but I'm just too in the moment to really recognize it. Um, that like I really wanted to be friends with Bree, and I was willing to destroy my game to make that happen.
I mean, Bree definitely let her inner brioche out in the confessionals. She was definitely not afraid. It's like in person, she's very Southern princess, and very in confessionals, that's where brioche comes out. And
Yeah,
I think she made it very clear in a couple of scenes where it's like, I like AJ outside the game, it's just in the game, he's an absolute nightmare. Which I think that's fair for
I
a lot of
agree.
people.
I
It's like
agree.
it's like outside the game, we're all fun. Inside the game, I want to push you down the flight of stairs.
Yeah. And I think for me, I was just like, I was really getting that line very like blurry. Like I couldn't tell where these people were, mostly because I didn't have like the like background behind like these relationships that everyone else had. So there was no like, oh, I know they're not serious because I've known them for like a full year and a half prior to this. It was like, oh my God, people are leveraging friendships now. This is serious. Like, I want friends getting out of this experience. Like, that's the whole reason I did it, not for like some like title and $50. But I don't know.
Yeah, I still can't believe the Michigan price when it's $50 for an All Star. I was like, come on, bump it up to 100.
Well, that would require us to pay more, and I don't think
Oh
any of
yeah,
us wanted to pay more.
I forgot you guys had to pay $10 just to apply or get on the
Yeah, it was
team.
like 10 or $15. I was like, you know what? This is just posh.
Eh, everyone just cares about the glory. Who cares about the money? If it's not a million,
Exactly.
then
I
there's
was
no
just
point.
like excited to be cast. I would have given them like a goat. I don't know, whatever they wanted for me to be on that cast.
Well, people were calling you the goat, so giving yourself the goat.
I would say that's halfway there.
Yeah, so I was like, I could give you a goat or I could be a goat. Now, nobody ever specified whether it was goat drag to the end or greatest of all time goat, so that's opinions up in the air.
But I think we all know that it's the greatest of all time.
I mean, obviously, what's better than a zero vote finalist? We got three of them,
Exactly.
and they're like the most iconic people of Michigan. We
Exactly.
got Brittany, Lucy, your favorite cat.
Yeah, I think those are people that if the winner did not win those seasons, that's who they would have wanted to win. Except for Kat. I think Shannon should have won that hands down. Um,
I mean,
Love
I
you,
made a
Dale.
video. Yeah, Dale, you're great. I made a video where I can see a world where Kat wins if Shannon was voted off on Final Four.
See, I was just hoping that the rest of the cast of season 4 would just hate season 4 so much that they would give Kat the win.
You know what? Let's just like really ruin the season and just give the win to Kat. I mean,
That was like the
Mallory needs
vibe
some.
though.
Mallory needs some love with like she can't just be the only Michigan female winner.
True.
And
True.
after this season, is it going to look like she will still remain the only Michigan winner? We still got 2 more episodes to figure out.
I don't know.
Now, you mentioned your obsession with Brie. Let's move on to your other
Oh,
slight obsession that we didn't really get to see that much. Your love affair with Sam.
yes, yes, my
So,
other half this game.
yeah. So, explain to me, the audience, and anyone with a brain cell, how does a text message that accidentally goes out to a group of him targeting you turn into "I will never write down your name"?
Well, I think there's like a lot of things that happen in between those two. Um I right at the beginning though, like I think for me it was just, oh, Akshay told me one thing and then went and told Sam another thing. That's not like a very trusting thing to like put on someone, or like that's not like a very like trust building thing to do, regardless of if it's Survivor or not. Like, Survivor, you got to take any inkling you can, especially that first week, and turn it to your advantage. And coincidentally, um, Sam and I had a meeting right after that message got sent, like both of us walking to the coffee place, getting ready for our meeting as he sends out the text. So we just kind of like, since he was the first one that I talked to, and I like the first one I could really like do recovery with, because at this point I think I'm going home. I kind of just like lay it all on the line, kind of expecting like some bullshit. And I think because I didn't really expect like Sam to really care, um, the fact that he did care and the fact that he cared so much really like, I don't know, it impressed me because I was like, I did not know that level of Sam existed. Um, and I'm always going to work with people who I like versus people who I like don't enjoy. And Sam really like shot up from like a nothing to like a, oh wow, this guy like gets my vibes, and like that's just all I want is to vibe.
I mean, plus he cried and showed emotions. That seems to be your thing. Well, it only
Yeah.
seems to work when Sam does it, because when everybody else does it, you're just like stone cold. Who is this person?
Well, here's the thing too. I went in, first week wanting to like get a good solid foundation. And if I hear the first person who I thought I was going to have a solid foundation with, didn't even like actually consider that, or if he did consider that, still went ahead to like throw me up to the bus, then I'm going to try and like flip that shit. Whereas the Megan vote or the Megan conversation, it was like, all right, Megan and Sam tried working together, and Megan leaked shit to Bailey the week prior or 2 weeks prior. Megan had like an opportunity, and now Megan's just gonna like cry to me and then insult me. That's not like I don't know. If you want me to like you enough to work with you, I'm not gonna like particularly enjoy like being yelled at and then told I suck. Um, yeah, that was like the one meeting where I was like, this Megan meeting, it's I don't enjoy it. It's not fun. Which prior every Megan meeting is a good meeting. Even the meetings after I like blindsided her boyfriend.
Yeah, the whole Jackson Megan situation. So we all
Yeah.
know how that came afoot in I think it's definitely fair to say unpredictable ways with the whole Abbey Gate. And
Mm.
that led to a lot specifically with Megan and your tribe. So first off, how did you hear well first, how did you hear Jackson the whole Abbey Gate situation, and what was your reaction to finding out that out of all people from season 4 that are dating, it's Jackson and Megan of all people?
Well, there was a party after season 4 that Dale hosted. Dale and his wife, love of my life, and Megan showed up, and then 10 minutes after Jackson showed up, and I don't. remember who. I want to say it was either Katie from season 4 or maybe Aaron, but people were like, "Ooh, they had like a thing during season 4. This might be like serious." And they came separately and were like, "No, we're good. He took me to like law formal and that's it, and we didn't vibe." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I believed it because I was like, that pairing makes no sense to me, and I never see that happening ever in my life. Um, and then like learning about it, it was just like, I don't know. I was just kind of like, why? Like, why would you do that, Megan? Why would you date Jackson? Because I don't know. I just like didn't get it. Because Megan is like Jesus, and Jackson is like, I don't know. It's just Jackson. It's like
Jackson's Jackson.
Jackson's Jackson. And like at that point I had only ever like interacted with Jackson once or twice outside of Survivor. I asked him if he had abs. He said he did not have abs. This was after at the season 4 after party. So I don't have like the highest impression of Jackson. That being said, I don't really care because I know Jackson doesn't really have the highest impression of me. Um, yeah, I was just like flabbergasted the entire time that was happening.
Yeah, it's just like, wow, two of the most opposite people are dating. I guess true love can truly find anyone. Well, not
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I still remember when that was like revealed in one of the trailers. I was like, this is a joke, right? Are they just playing it up? And then people are like, no, they were actually dating at the time. And I'm like, how? They're like
It was.
two polar opposites.
Hey, I mean, opposites attract, and like if you can fit that missing puzzle piece, sometimes it just works out. So good for them for like getting together. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, and the very few scenes that we saw of them in the season, it was very cute. Very cute Jackson Megan
it
scenes. Or
was.
I still people still haven't come up with a ship name for them. Is it like Maxon or Jegan?
There was one in my producer chat when we first found out, and it was good, but I don't remember it at the moment. I'll have to
Uh,
find that.
we need to scroll back through the archives to find that one.
Yeah.
So I feel like almost every, at least all your pre-merge tribals, they're like some of the biggest tribals. I feel like just the Pawnee tribe in general, it's like almost my favorite tribe now, just because of everyone on it. Because I'm like, why? I love all these people. Because like we talked about the whole Oxus situation, and then we get to the Dylan vote, where you and Lucy were thinking, oh, just a simple 2-2-2. Whoever doesn't play an idol goes home. Main target Aaron, and then next thing you find out it's a 3-3 tie between Dylan and Sam, and you and Megan are crying in the corner.
That was a
So,
fun moment.
care to talk about that and like what was happening and how things came afloat?
Yeah, so I remember in the meeting, me and I think Lucy wanted Aaron, whereas like Sam wanted Dylan or something like that. I forget how it went. But essentially the main meet is Megan had been like trying to like flip all week. And I was like, why I don't know. Why would I flip on someone that already doesn't trust me? And then going into All Stars after playing 4.5, being like really close allies with like Aaron and Dylan, and then like them just kind of being like season 3 alliance, bye. I was like, and like Aaron had told me, like, I'm the type of person that if you betray, I'll like never trust you again. And so I kind of like took that shit to heart, and I was like, Aaron is not going to save me over someone like Cooper or someone like, Sam or just someone that she has like a better connection with. Because that's just like how Aaron operates, at least in my mind back then. I was like, that's dumb. And then when the like rumors of like the 4-person alliance between Aaron, Megan, Kevin, and Jackson came out, I was kind
The
of like,
Axis of Evil.
yeah, the fake alliance that never was, the screenshots that did not exist. It was kind of crazy how many times like things just were said and people just ran with it, and it became like the integral like turning point of information for different parts of the game. But then when that happened, I was like, oh my God, that just makes so much sense, because why else would Megan save Aaron? Um, but yeah, I didn't want it to be Dylan. I felt like I had a solid relationship with Dylan. Dylan tried to like get me to believe that he had an idol that was actually another fucking turtle. I have the fake idols. That was another fucking turtle necklace that Will gave him prior, and he tried to like say like, if you save me, like I'll give you this idol. And I was like, fool me once, Dylan. Fool me once. Um, but the crying part, I don't know. I look back at that, and even after like the tribal was like, that was a special moment. Like that was top tier television right there. It was just like, I don't know. At that point, Megan and I had really bonded over being like super socially anxious and like not feeling very competent in the game and like being emotional and like crying. So, that's why we had like the Crybabies Alliance. So at that point, it was just kind of like, oh, so this is it. This is the name. This is the done deal right here. Um, and I just needed to get, Megan to like flip back. And then the game proceeded and it wasn't a done deal. And, that's just kind of how it shook out.
Question from your Pawnee tribe member. How do you think how far you want to make it if you picked the correct side and voted with us week 1?
I think I get voted out very much pre-merge, if not definitely the swap. I think I I don't know. I just hate when people call me stupid on the internet and then openly admit to say they were going to vote me out later. So like obviously like it wasn't like a stupid move. But
I mean, you
like
got all the way to
I
top
love
7.
yeah, I love Akshay. I love Aaron. Like those are two people that I do really respect their opinions of, regardless of what they think about me. Um and yeah.
Plus, I feel like if you voted off Lucy first, the Lucy stand-up would come for you.
No, can we talk about it though? Because I literally saved Lucy and no one gave a shit. I was like, y'all are gonna hate me later, but at least love me right now for doing this one thing for the gays and the girls.
We root for the girls and the gays and Cooper
That's
James.
it. That's it. The girls, the gays, maybe Cooper James. Depends on the
I'm,
day, really.
I'm just quoting an amazing Survivor player, Hannah Dolan. If you don't know who she is, you need to find out who she is.
The name sounds very familiar. I might have played an org with Hannah prior.
Yeah, she was in that Survivor Odyssey. I think you played season 1, she played the second season.
Yes. Odyssey. That was like one at that point I was playing like 3 games at once and I just came back from a trip to Chicago. Wild, but we do love Hannah. We do love
Yeah,
the Odyssey gang. Odyssey is a really well put together org. If you're in the college scene, it's only for
yeah.
college players.
Yeah, and now I tried to apply into season 3, but there was like, you had to play College Survivor. It's like, God damn it. It's not
Just
my
do
fault
grad school in
Survivor.
America, Lee.
I'm trying, y'all expensive. It's not my fault Survivor doesn't exist over here.
I know. Drowning in
So,
debt.
yeah. So that's the Dylan tribal, and let's talk about the other emotional tribal that involved crying that you've been to, the Aaron tribal, where
I'm
where Aaron goes off, great line. It's very personal. Don't talk to me, and you're just there crying in your lap, and then you have to your corner Sarah being bewildered and confused on why everybody's crying. What was going through your head?
um a lot was going through my head. I think for me, I was just like, it's such a like sad moment for me, because at that point I was like, oh my God, did I just lose a friend? And then also it's kind of set like this standard for how I viewed the rest of the game, of like, oh, so like this shit is like not just a game to some of these people. Like these people have relationships and they're gonna be used regardless of whether I am here or not. I gotta like get ahead of that. And it also like confirmed to me how hard it was going to be. Like I kind of the first few weeks, they were like hard, but they like I didn't really have like the close bonds to the people that other ones had, so I wasn't like as like connected or as like emotionally or like as like making like emotionally charged decisions then. And I really tried to like not make emotionally charged decisions. I really wanted to come in and like separate, the game and then who I wanted these people to like be with in my life, in terms of like my relationship to them. And the Iron Vote really made me realize like how difficult that was going to be. Um, but with the game ramping up and us, swapping, and I got to check like the one thing I didn't do in my first season off my bucket list of like making the swap and then also finding an idol and then also surviving a tribal and also winning a tribal challenge. Like I was ticking shit off. I was like, I just want to keep going down my list, and I gotta like I guess disassociate my emotions for a few weeks, see how that goes. But yeah,
Don't mention
it was a rough
lists, it
week.
triggers the fans.
It was a rough week. Yeah, I gave Erin a red apples ale before tribal because that was like a
Uh,
drink that like she put me on, and like that drink like represented Erin to me, and I was just like, I want to like show you that I respect you and that I love you. But you know,
we're about
she had a
to
really
send
rough
you
time in the
home.
game, so I understand. Like my what I do in my head is not like it does not like come across as well as I think it's coming across.
Yeah, we all have those moments where we think we're giving when in actuality we're not.
Yeah, yeah. And then at 20, it's just really hard to recognize that.
Yeah, especially during like you're in college, you're trying to figure out where you're going in your future. And
Yeah.
was it was difficult for like you since you were coming from season 4. Yes, you were voted off super early, but still you don't have as much connections with the people, and there weren't many of yous. You had Megan, who you hadn't been on a tribe with, Tom, who you haven't been on a tribe with and is Tom, and then you have Jackson, who voted you off, and you, I guess, Cool Mint Bitch Alliance was never true to begin with, and is that the name of that group? I don't know if I got that right.
Sadly. Sadly, it is. And it existed. RIP Cody Co.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, that's why I did 4.5, because I just needed the connections. I needed to know like what was going on. Um, yeah.
And then, well, I was going to bring up the merge. Let's bring up uh two of the craziest things I think you've done all season. Get a tattoo and shave your head. I don't
That I
care what
did.
Bailey says, it's a cool tattoo.
It's a cute ass. Listen. I think it's the twinkiest thing about me, and I'm like reveling in that fact. Like it's just so I look at it and I don't regret it.
Yeah, everyone was like every time I'd bring up like, would you like get a tattoo or shave your head? Everyone's just like, ooh, I don't know if getting a tattoo. I'd be like, I'd be down to get a tattoo. I'd be like, done, easy. Make it
Oh
survivor
yeah.
related. I get like check your emails, somewhere tattooed on me.
That
Shout
was
out to
that was
Dan.
another that was another checkbox, was the scavenger hunt. I was glad I got to do that.
Yeah, so I think we need to explain what drug you were on that thought, you know what, let's get a tattoo and let's shave my head.
Oh, it was like an instant, like I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna do that. Because I at that point it had gotten to me like that people did not see me as like all-star material, which is like fair, and they like were already labeling me as like Sam's extra vote or it's like Sam's puppet, which really got to me, as you can see. And so
Ooh.
I just wanted to do something that A would give me airtime and B would make me stand out in front of the crowd and show that like, hey guys, like I want to be here and I'm willing. I may not be the smartest, I may not be like the strongest, but ain't nobody going to be more dedicated than I am to a stupid little cause. Um, and I lied to my parents for like a full like 2 years on why I got the tattoo. and shaved my head. I just kind of told them like I did it, and like I just wanted to like take control of my life and like make a change in the middle of my junior year. Um, and they believed it for like a little bit. So
And then it was like, no, I did it for a college survivor game, so we wouldn't have to go to a double tribal where two people go home.
yeah, I told them that when like the trailer came out, and I was like, hey, so this is gonna happen, and you may not like it. Uh, they didn't even watch the season, so it didn't end up matter. But they like after 3 years, they kind of had to give up on it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this happened 3 years ago. If we're still mad about this, we need to. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like more people need to talk about the fact that you shaved your head for this for to win a survivor game. Like, no, did you? Well, you kind of did do some great blindside, but like that's something big and permanent. It's like I don't care how strategic you are. Are you willing to shave your head for this game? Are
I
you?
mean, hair isn't permanent.
Yeah, I mean, we're all gonna lose it at some point, and
I
wigs are
mean,
there for a reason.
not me. I ain't putting that out into the universe. I'm like my mom's dad still has hair, so I'm gonna I'm gonna hold my hair as long as I possibly can.
I think I would have voted for you regard if you made it to the end. Be like, I don't care if people say this. The fact that you shaved your head for this, it deserves at least a vote.
Well, thank you.
Yay! Speaking of that double tribal, you weren't a part of it. Not particularly. What's the word I'm looking for? You weren't actually a part of it, but you were still involved. That's the sentence. With this whole plan to get out Cooper, where you did the impossible and worked with Kevin.
Gas. Dun dun dun. You
Done.
know?
It's not even getting out Cooper. It's the fact that you were working with Kevin. That's the shocking thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No,
So,
Kevin's so fun.
oh, he he is. I talked to him on this, and it's like, yeah, he's just as fun as he is on the show, but less mean.
Very, very less mean. Very less mean.
Kevin the character is fun, but we all love Kevin the person. So, what was happening in that double tribal that was like, you know what? I'm going to give my idol to Lucy. We're going to idle out Cooper, and we're going to give this entire subplot to try and get out Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, my main goal at that tribal was to just save Lucy. Because going into merge, we call kind of like we wanted it to be merge really bad. Um, Going into that, like being a part of like such like a visible trio and knowing we were possibly being targeted this tribal and next tribal, I really just wanted to make sure that I at least had a base of numbers like around me. And if it's not gonna, if that's not gonna be like something that I can use to my advantage, then in theory, and how my head would work, I was like, well, they'll attack like Sam or they'll attack Lucy because like why would you get me out in comparison to like Sam and Lucy? Like at least that was my thought process going in. And you know, the Cooper was just like a nice little like, yeah, and we'll make a big move too, you know. And I was hoping that just the move of like getting out Cooper itself would like get Kevin on board, and I was hoping that it would move Jackson to like want to like work with us and vote Cooper. But damn, that damn necklace. I didn't even need it. I shouldn't even like bothered with it. I should have just told Jackson what was going on. But I
Yeah,
didn't
because I was
trust Jackson.
yeah, because I was about to say, what was the whole like giving Jackson a fake idol and then messaging Megan messaging you being like, "Hey, isn't this just one of your necklaces that I saw in your room?" Which how did she know that detail?
Well, she saw it earlier in the day. We were like walking to my room to record a confessional. Don't record confessionals in your room, by the way. You're like that's just like opening you up to a lot of vulnerabilities for your game. I don't know why I did that. I think it's because like I had a lot of like tchotchkes and stuff around my room that I loved showing off. Um,
I
but
mean, I understand that.
yeah, so she sees it and it's hanging up, and it was like something I brought from home that like I like kind of already wear that shit. I'll be honest. It's a necklace that my grandmother gave me, not Darlene.
The
So
other one.
I would just wear like random like stupid little necklaces, and I hung it up like on my nightstand or whatever, and she saw it, and I was like, oh yeah, like because I knew there were rumors about me like having like an idol out there. I was like, oh yeah, that's a fake idol. Like obviously I don't just have like an idol in my room. I don't need Megan to like distrust me, in this moment. Um, but I don't know. I should have just told her like it was like a real necklace, but I don't know if she would have like bought that at the time. Um, but yeah, and then the reason I wanted to like use it to like get Jackson to vote with me is because I think Jackson hates me. Thought, think, and probably will think that Jackson hates me just because I don't know. I've never gotten good vibes from him. So I was like, how do I make Jackson work with someone not only that he does not think too highly of, but also actively does not want to work with him, and also already has like worked against him in this game. And I was like, ooh, maybe like he believes I have an idol, we'll like, we'll throw an idol in there. Or he believes Kevin has an idol, we'll throw an idol in there, you know.
Yeah, and then we all saw how that turned out with Jesse of all people going home because there was this whole
Yeah.
side plan.
I don't remember if I knew that or not at the time that Jesse was going home. I feel like the plan doesn't make sense without me knowing that little tidbit of information. But also, it wouldn't surprise me if it just didn't make sense because we formed it literally an hour before a tribal that Kevin and I were not going to and did not know the intricacies of. So listen, chaotic people are just going to want to make big moves just to make big moves. And it was fun. No one can say they did not have fun, except maybe the audience, but I had fun.
Well, maybe Cooper and Bailey crying on Sarah, they didn't really have that much fun.
That was wild. That was really wild.
I mean, you have Lucy throwing up in a bush at somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that tribal was intense. And then, but then it gave us the first of Bailey's 7, the first of many. 'Cause
Yeah.
then,
7, 8s, and 10s, and 5s, and 6s.
oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Because we get that. We get what we think is the merge. No, it's another tribal, 3-person tribal. Lucy goes home, sadness. The audience is in tears.
Cries, cries. Oh, that was a dark night. That was a dark night. That's where you get my first like bed, laying in bed, dark room confessional, which, yeah, I'm so dramatic as fuck sometimes. Sometimes, listen, that emotion is 100% real too at the time. That's the funny part about it, is that I was sitting there, serious as can be, being just like, guys, it's over. But like I can look back on it now and laugh because it's just so like over dramatized and stupid, but that shit was
And
real for me. I was so like scared for my game and upset that all that work I did with Lucy was like gone, and like it felt like such like a negative like net value for me that my game was like ruined.
yeah, and I mean, you talk about maybe not inviting people into your room. Don't invite people into your house, Cooper, or else they'll go snooping through your room and find your advantage.
That was a fun moment to watch. That's something I like heard about, but didn't really like know to the extent of how that happened.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Cooper to get voted off so I can ask him on this and just be like, what were you thinking? That's really the only reason why I'm excited people get voted off at this point so I can eventually talk to them about why things are happening.
Lee's just rooting for all of our downfalls. No one gets to win.
No, no one wins. Not even the audience. I'm like, yay, suffer.
Cooper would probably be like, I expected her not to go in my room. That was my
I mean,
Cooper impression.
I mean, pretty spawn. You were missing the whole oh, I just need my game's good. I'm in the middle. I'm not gonna believe anything, or the whole like panic mode thing. Speaking
Yeah.
of panic, I'm sure once the merge happened, you and Sam were panicking with Leia and Brie being on the bottom of Jesus Christ, Bailey's second alliance, Bailey's 8, before it turned into Bailey 7 2.0 Part 3.
Yeah. Yeah. That was that was a fun time. I remember literally the first night of tribal, or the first night of like the merge when we do the challenge, uh, just being so upset that I dropped and then Bailey dropped right after. And I was like, that's a targeted attack against me. Bailey's coming for me, because there was like rumors that like, they were coming after Sam and I. Um, and at that point, it was like starting to become a little bit more obvious to me, like how close these like friendship relationships were going to save people. Um, and so I kind of, I woke up the next morning, uh, drank an entire bang, did a shot, took my German 102 exam, and then went home texting Bailey, like kind of like drunk at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday because, it's college. That's kind of
As
what you
one
do in
does.
college,
I would
as
know.
you do, destroying your liver. And I'm texting Bailey like through the hallway of my residential hall, like leading to it. And I look up and I just go, Bailey. And not going to lie, Bailey has told me that she does not remember me yelling. I remember yelling at her in the middle of this like fucking like university building at 10 a.m. just being like, Nick and Sarah, they don't trust you. They're going to come right for you. And you are in the middle of this game, Bailey. You are right in the middle of this game. You have all the power. You have all these people, and they know it. And they're going to come after you as soon as they get rid of me. So why would you get rid of me?
And she's just like,
And then
hi.
yeah, basically, she's just like, no, I know. It was just like, it was just such a silly, goofy little time. So after that, I like texted Sam, and Sam happened to be in the building across the street from me. So I ran over to the building across the street from me and like met Sam in the computer lab and told him what happened. And then as soon as like I'm done finishing telling him what happened, Leia calls him and like basically confirms that like Bailey's like going through with this. So it's just crazy how like fast everything moved. And this was the day right after the challenge. And we still had like another like week and a half left of this cycle because it was the
Whoa.
weekend of Halloween. So tribal was
Oh,
happening
fun.
after Halloween. Um, and so it had to like keep this plan like going for like a little bit.
Oh, there should have been a Halloween party scene. I would love to see everybody dressed up.
I was not there. I was at state.
Oh
So you wouldn't have
no.
gotten me. So who cares?
I mean, we got you dressed up a lot with the iconic wig of losing.
The wig of losing. I miss that wig. Shout out to Bailey's. Okay, no one's gonna like this. No one's gonna like this. Shout out to Bailey's boyfriend Noah for telling me to buy that wig because it made me look like Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye. It definitely did not, but I loved the sentiment, and in my head, I was getting airtime, so it didn't matter.
I mean, I'm still remembering that scene where I think you had the wig on and you were dancing with your two idols that you thought were real, and it's like
I love that
those are.
scene. That scene is so fun.
I'm still remembering from this one I earned, this one I sucked dick for.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, thank God he's on this season.
In my defense, these are the exact same necklaces. Like real Survivor does this shit. So me not having seen a Survivor Michigan Idol, I was like, makes sense. Why else would there be two exactly same necklaces in different colors?
I mean, there are some college survivors who also have done that. I remember a season where their idols were literally necklaces of the tribe colors.
Yeah, exactly. And like Co Wrong is the first season I watched.
It wasn't what's the name of it? Micronesia?
Micronesia.
Nesia?
Funniest part about that, I had not even seen. Actually, I still haven't seen Micronesia to this day. I just knew it existed. I was like the super fan who like was just super fan. I was like the fan who just started watching. I started watching Co Wrong. Um, watched Millennials versus or no, watched Game Changers. Then other way around. Millennials versus
By
Gen
the way,
X.
Gen
Game
X Game
Changers.
Changers.
Tried watching Ghost Island. Couldn't skipped
Don't blame you.
Heroes Hustlers.
Don't blame you.
Always blessed that I did that. And then right when the following season
David
aired. I
versus
forget which
Goliath.
one. Yeah, that's when I started getting back into watching Survivor because it was my sophomore year of college, not my freshman year of college.
Mhm.
Um, and also Survivor Michigan happened that season. Um, but yeah, so I wasn't even I was like someone who like trolled the wiki and like looked for trivia events and like watched like so many YouTube videos that I knew like
Um,
basically what happened. And so didn't feel the need to watch the season. But yeah, I didn't realize how crazy some of your fans are and how much knowledge y'all knew. I was just like, "Oh, this is cool. Oh, I think I know a lot."
yeah, you thought, "Yeah, I'm a Survivor fan," and then you get on a season with Matthew Israel.
No, for real. That was wild. That was wild.
I mean, I'm just as bad. I'm trying to find I had, like, a hardback copy of every Survivor season I've watched and, like, the elimination order, who else got votes that tribal, and I can list them all off by memory.
See, that's badass to me. I can't say much because I have an Excel sheet with all the like Survivor participants, but that's mostly because I like to win orgs. Um,
I have that too, but I just do that for fun.
work. We love that. I do Brant Steal for fun. I love Brant Steal. I think
Oh,
it's
that's so much
the
fun.
get like high at like 5 o'clock on a Friday and just do Brant Steal for hours. Funnest shit of my life.
Oh, I remember there was, like, periods of time where it's like, I would not do schoolwork whenever we were, like, in the computer room. I just, like, make my own Survivor Brands deals and be like, I'd only do the girls of Survivor because 'cause they're all that matter, but I always do, like, US versus Australian or, like, Big Brother versus Survivor, that kind of stuff. Survivor winners versus Drag Race winners.
I
Still,
need to do that. I need to do Survivor with Drag Race. I don't know why I haven't thought about that yet.
it's so fun, and just, like, it's funny to think of certain things that happen, and it's like, "Oh, this very much, correlates with the show." What were we talking about? I immediately forgot. See, this is what happens, I go on a tangent about something, and then I forget, what's the main topic?
I'm just glad to ride the tangent. I'm
Right,
just happy
merge.
to be here.
You're living your moment. This is your moment.
This is my moment. Yeah, very that.
Right, so merge. Bailey somehow makes an alliance, immediately breaks it just to make another alliance with you.
Yeah,
Oh,
iconic of her.
now
Love Bailey for that.
I know the fact this girl has no idea what she's doing, yet is playing one of the best games of Survivor.
That's like why you gotta love Bailey. Like
I know,
Bailey, like had like Bailey knew what was going on, but she just like I don't know. Bailey just really likes to doubt herself, and I don't think she should doubt herself as much as she does. Because she and I hope she sees that now. She is like she kills it. She kills it at this game. She does. She has won like maybe like six like unofficial Survivor Michigan like drinking games. I don't know if she wants that over the air, but um,
I
she
mean,
like was
there's
won
plenty.
a lot of them. She is great at Survivor.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a few things that she does that's a little bit annoying, but that's pretty much what everyone on the show. I'm still
That's
excited for her to have.
Survivor.
That's Survivor. Name one person who does something on the show that's like not annoying. People
I
who go home
know.
early. They go home too early to do something annoying. What was I on about? Oh
Exactly.
yeah, I want to bring up um a little thing called Apollo, and
Apollo 14.
this host no, Sarah's cat.
Oh,
It's named
Sarah's
Apollo.
cat. Sarah's cat. Love Sarah's cat.
So you and Nick, the two gays of the season, were kind of had this weird side thing that sadly never went anywhere. But what was like happening during this whole Apollo search with you two?
Um, I think for me, I was just like, get that idol. And if you don't get that idol, at least you know where that idol is. So I didn't really care that Nick was like right behind, like by me. And at that point, I was just kind of like, I like Nick as a person. And so I'm going to just have fun with Nick for a little bit. Um, but yeah, that was like 3 hours of rubbing out like this like message on this piece of paper in the library at like 2 a.m. That like Nick like bought the supplies with his own money and then shadily like Venmo requested me after the tribal. Um, um,
It's like the
but
least you can do, you just vote him off.
yeah, that idol really made me feel really smart because I was like, oh my god, this is a Survivor Michigan title episode, and I know where this is. And now that we've like super spied our way through this clue, we can have an idol, Nick. Which I don't know why I didn't just absolutely shout it. I think I was trying to like play it smooth. Um and Nick definitely like expedited his smoothness. And then mine didn't even come out smooth. See, at that point, everyone I kind of like had told like 1,000 different metaphors to like everyone. So I was like, it'll make sense that I'm using a metaphor to get this idol because people listen to me spout bullshit ass metaphors every time we meet.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got in there with his Apollo G.
I was so upset that counted. I was like,
He technically said it. He said Apollo. Just
He
follow the
did
word
say
by it.
Apollo. It was
I
smart as
was
shit.
kind.
It was smart as shit.
This wouldn't have happened, but I would have loved if someone unrelated to either you or Nick or Emily Cooper Bailey trio just randomly said Apollo, and not having any idea, and Matthew just gives them an idol, and they're just like, "Huh? What's happening? Are you breaking the season for me? Is this allowed?" I would
I
have
was
loved for
like
that to
thinking
happen.
about that. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, that's the whole point.
I was like thinking about that, like shouting it, but I just didn't know when would be the appropriate time to shout, and I was like really anxious about it and got in my head and just didn't do it. Um, it just didn't come out the way that I wanted it to. So it's so funny. I don't know why this wasn't in the episode, and I don't remember if it was during tribal, like right after I said it, or after while we were all voting, she like leaned in and said it. But she goes, "That's actually the wrong Apollo, Adam," and she was
Wait,
right.
who?
So wait, I don't even know if the whole like thing aired. I like told like a whole story about Apollo 12 or 13 or whatever, right?
One of the Apollos, yeah.
Yeah, the Apollo. It was like I said the wrong Apollo, so I got the wrong mission. It wasn't even right. I didn't even bother to Google. I was just like, this makes sense. This is gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I was thinking like, oh, maybe I can slip it in because obviously I put myself in these situations like, what would have I have done? Because obviously, and I would have like, oh, I would have been like, oh, I wanted to name the tribe like Zeus, Mercury, Apollo, something like
Mm-hmm.
related to make it not sound weird. But I think like on the real show when they introduce saying phrases to activate an idol, it's gonna sound weird regardless. It just you can try and play it off as smooth as you want, but it's not gonna come across. You get to a point where you're Marianne, and you just literally say it. You don't even answer the question. You just say it.
Yeah, we did it first. Damn it! Unless we didn't, don't quote me on that. But
No, you guys did do
uh,
it first.
we did it first. Damn it! But yeah. Funnily enough, I also thought that the password could have been the Lorax, because I didn't know about season 3, but I had like a somewhat decent relationship with Bachwick. Going into All Stars, and she told me about that story during 4.5. And so I was like, oh, this idol clue that led us to the video on the Survivor YouTube, maybe it's like another reference to Survivor itself. Why it would have been a season that wasn't aired yet, I don't know. Thankfully, I didn't go with that, but in the end, it didn't ultimately matter. But I was like, this is so cute. I love self-referential shit. As you can see behind like the Tokidoki bandana and the necklaces, like
Yeah, authentic Jackson necklaces that he found straight from the
authentic.
ground.
Mhm. If anyone wants these necklaces, I will sell them to you. I will not be giving them away for free.
I mean, Jackson pretty much has a business selling the fake idols that he has.
No, he told me he bought them in Jamaica. I was like, oh
Oh,
shit,
I thought he
okay,
made
work.
them.
I mean, maybe he made some of them, but I was told that he bought them in Jamaica.
Oh, that's cool. I wonder what he was doing in Jamaica. I mean, apparently they're not good enough fake idols according to Lucy, being the fake
Yeah.
idol, the fake idol expert herself.
Well, I mean, like, honestly, she kind of had points. She kind of had points. I was just like clueless and like had no clue what the Survivor Michigan Idol looked like. Like, I remember season 4, I was on North Campus for class, and there was this bag, and it was like tacked onto like some tack board, and it had like a little note with numbers on it. And I was like, guys, is this an idol clue? Is this an idol clue? They wouldn't tell me, obviously, but I was like, are these coordinates? I will walk to these coordinates. Are these coordinates? Um
I feel like they could have told you no.
I don't remember if they did or not, but I remember going on for like a good hour and a half being like, guys, is this an idol clue? And I didn't end up
Well,
going with it.
well, Dale already found I don't know how many idols. I mean, every idol was on
I
the Tokidoki
know.
tribe.
More season 4 tea. Oh my god, I'm telling season 4 stories. Um During the winter polar vortex, we had a few days off, and that was the day I was like, I'm gonna go idol search. And I looked right at that statue, having like only 2 clues at that time. I was like, yeah, I got it. But it wasn't there. But it was
What's
there, and
the
I think that matters most.
what's the winter portal vortex?
It was this crazy time in Michigan's history. I guess that would have been like spring 2019,
Oh
where it kind of
wow.
just like dropped. Like the temperature dropped suddenly to like the negatives, and it was like the coldest weather we've ever had in like years. And Michigan never canceled school. And Michigan, it got so cold and so icy and so snowy that Michigan canceled school.
Wow.
So I was like, perfect time to go out, look for an idol for this game of Survivor that I'm like barely even playing.
Well, you found one the next season and
I
made a move
did.
with it.
I
I think
did.
every original idol that was found was used to make a move and correctly. Like the one you found, the one Jackson found, and the one we finally figured out that Andrew had.
Yes, yes.
That effing Pringle idol question.
Yeah. That
That
made me
went
feel
on.
smart, not gonna lie.
Well, finding the idol or the whole Pringle idol situation?
No, so all right, let me explain. I kind of just threw that tidbit out randomly. Because Emily's like plan was to like save me using the idol, finding out that her idol was not real made me feel like, oh my god, that voting out Emily maybe was like a good move for me. And at like this was like maybe a year or two ago when Emily told me she had an idol. I was like, oh my god, thank god I didn't believe you. Thank god you didn't tell me that plan, because I would have wanted to like actually go through with that.
Yeah, because when I had her on, that was the thing she was going to tell you in that meeting where she was like, I have a plan, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
She
She was
should have
going to
just
tell you,
told
like,
me.
looking back, she says that now.
I know. It's always easy to look like back and like see what you did wrong, but like, yeah, no, I really wanted to work with Bachwick, but at that point it
Hmm,
was obvious, like, especially like come merge every week, it was like, okay, it's either this person or it's like me. Like it's like my name is kind of like the
seems like
default
a.
name every single week. So I was like, if it's gonna be me at 7, then
Well, it,
I'm glad that I'm in this position to make a move now, you know?
yeah, well, sadly, it did end up being you at 7 regardless.
I know. It's so funny. It's so funny how shit like that works out for me. Like it's just so wild. The way I like will say I'm not going to do something and it just happens regardless. Like when I was like 12, I like went to like a pump it up, which is like it's kind of like this warehouse where there's like a bunch of like inflatable blow up like attractions and stuff like slides and like obstacle
All
courses,
of
and it's
those
like a little
things,
bit of an
yeah.
arcade. Yeah, it's like a warehouse
Oh, fun.
dedicated to that and like hosting kids birthday parties. And my mom awkwardly goes like, you should work here one day, or like you should work here, go see if they have like a job application. I was like, never, I would never work here. And then lo and behold, at 15 I was working at a pump it up for 3 years. Like shit
That
like
sounds
that just
fun.
happens. It was the most insidious fucking time of my life. That was the most cursed thing I've ever done. But we love it. That was such like a format. We're not talking about my Pump It Up days. I'm sorry. Those need to stay in the vault.
Those the public audience does not need to know.
No, they do not. No, they do not. But yeah, so I was just like this me making seventh, and then I kind of like forgot how many times I said that, or like me getting seventh like was thrown out just in the game in general. And it's kind of funny. I had a like monogram a mantra on my board of see it, say it, believe it, like the entire season. Because Darlene, my grandma Darlene, was like, say this, do this, write this down, and it'll get you through it. And I'm kind of like spiritual in that sense. So I like, yeah, I will do it, and I will say it, and I will believe it, and it will happen. Which also really funny that people thought Crouch was manifesting with his cockiness. This straight white cis boy is manifesting, not the queer. Okay, all right, whatever.
No,
That's a take. That's a take. I don't
I
know where
was
you connected the dots, but there's a line somewhere.
I was literally saying this throughout like the merge. You and Andrew are the same player, but a gay and straight version.
And like at the time too, I saw that. I was like, Andrew and I both had like similar placements. We both were like third out or 14th. I forget. We were there
Yeah,
14th or third out. We both were like playing under the guise of these big charismatic players. People see us kind of like as goats. We're both back here for
not Andrew
redemption.
apparently.
The only difference is that Andrew kind of always also Andrew had more connections than me, literally living across the street from Cooper. I don't know how that doesn't make him involved with like that group, but whatever.
Yeah.
And I forget my last point, but I was just like, oh, Andrew was like kind of seen as like the golden boy in All Stars for a little bit, where it was like,
Still
oh,
is.
he's like the underdog that everyone is okay with winning and everyone wants to see win. And I was like, why do y'all want to see a straight white man win again? Like I get it. I'm still, and at that time I was cis and white, but I at least had 1 degree to me.
I still think
That's
it's
a little bit better. Less annoying or a little more annoying, but still.
I'm purely think it's only because he got rocked out. If he got voted off regularly, nobody would be this like what's the word? Pitiful of him. That's bad to say,
I
but
don't know. I think also Crouch is like an actually like good player, and he's like really fun too. So I get why people like see him in that highlight, but I was just like, ugh. Especially like at this point in my time, I was like, I hate straight men. I hate straight men with a passion. So I was just like, why is this happening? Like, why? But Crouch is great. I love Crouch.
it's funny you say that. My first Michigan review was the Ben vote off in season 4, and I literally said I don't like straight men.
Yeah, I don't like straight men.
Uh,
It's
why do
just
they have to exist? I don't hate straight people. I just wish they all die.
I wouldn't go that far. They have their uses, Like, where else am I going to get like a nice IPA?
What's an IPA?
It's like a beer. I don't know exactly. It just
Oh,
tastes better to me. But I kind of hate most beers, so really anything would have tasted better.
yeah. I'm more of a cocktail. I need a drink that's pumped with sugar.
Oh, I feel that. But if it's too sugary, don't sit with. Don't sit with.
Doesn't really exist with me.
But yeah, that's my hot take on Crouch.
Yeah, I think there
He's
were
chill.
moments
I
in
hope he doesn't hate me. I'm always scared that I'm always scared that these like people that I like adore hate me, but I love Crouch regardless.
Yeah, I'm like that as well. Like literally like talking with like some of these people, and I remember like constantly shit talking in the comments of season 4 saying like this season's the worst. And then when I get to see them it's like, oh god, they hate me. Especially like I still remember that one time Jackson not calling me out, but he mentioned me in like his exit interview all the way back in season 4. I remember in the pre-merge podcast that Ian hosted for season 4, he mentioned a comment I made saying like, "Oh, Nate is just like one of those people who thinks being a bitch is a personality." And he mentions that, and I'm like, I feel a little bit called out. I
No
still love
comment.
mentioning it to this day.
No, it's so fun.
I know. Wait, what were we on about?
I don't know. I have zero clue.
Uh, oh yeah, you and Andrew being a gay and straight version. Every time I say that to people, they just laugh because I think they kind of realize it's kind of true.
I mean, yeah, that's just me at most of the takes this season, I'll be honest. After crying a bunch after seeing all the hate, you kind of have to start to laugh.
Yeah, it's like you just have to let loose.
Let loose. Oh my god, that was another arc of this season, rewatching this season. Um I would say to my partner, oh my god, I'm Lucy LaDuca. And they would yell at me and like get up and like storm out of the room every time I said it. But like it's kind of true. It's kind of true. I hate to admit it.
I was going to say, if you were to compare yourself to a drag race queen, which would it be?
Oh, but here's the thing too. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, in some ways, I am every single drag race girl from All Stars 3 at one point in this season. I'm not gonna lie, I did call myself the Aja of Survivor Michigan just because I came back real fast and I improved way more than anyone else had thought I could in that amount of time.
And how you shouldn't have
And I
gone
was
home when you.
robbed. And I was robbed.
I think it was more you kind of bendel yourself, voting yourself off.
See, robbery. Robbery.
So you had your delusion of milk, you had your Jesus, gross authority, you had your bitchiness of Morgan, you had your Rob story of Aja, you have your sending yourself home of Dayla, you had your redemption story of Kennedy, you had your ultimate fan favoriteness of Trixie, you had your and then you had your iconic dance moves of Chi Chi, and I'm
Yeah,
trying to think,
exactly.
how were you BB in a way?
Um.
I'm pretty sure she's the only one I'm forgetting. Oh no, Shanji.
Oh, I had a good one for Shangela. I wrote all this down like a week ago, but then deleted it because I was like, this is kind of
Mm,
cringy. Um.
comparing myself to drag queens, men dressed
Well,
up
we were
in
doing
wigs.
this thing in our alumni like chat where we were like the final 10 as like super niche things, and I was like doing like the personalities of AJ as Drag Race All Stars 3 queens, but I was like, this will not get any likes in the group me, and so why do I care?
Yeah, we all plan to be Sasha, but we're all really Lucy.
Exactly,
Leduca, not
exactly.
Lucy White. We're not that iconic.
Work.
So that's your relationship with Andrew. I think we're up to Emily. So this is something I wanted to mention. You kind of talked about how you and Emily were close. I kind of suggested this idea to Emily, and I'm going to say it to you. I know in the Emily vote off, you, Megan, and Sam would have preferred to vote off Bailey over Emily. Do you
Yeah.
think if you've gone to Emily and say, "Hey, so Cooper and Andrew are flipping and want to vote you off," would you want to vote with me, Sam, and Megan on Bailey, and we make it a 4-3-2, 4 on Bailey, 3 on Andrew, 2 on you?
I mean,
Or is this just
I
something it's
think
like, or
no,
is
go
it
ahead.
something
Sorry.
like, oh, I was gonna say, oh, that's something I could have thought of but didn't think of at the time.
I mean, it was just something I would have probably stopped myself from thinking because I did not know how serious Emily was of like the Bailey flip. My like, and this is probably like a huge flaw in like my game philosophy at that time. I was just like, listen, if it's not the vote this week, then I'm not going to believe it. Um, and so if she didn't want to get out Bailey now, I was just like, all right, I gotta like, especially when it's my head on the line. I don't care about next week. I need something to do like ASAP. Um, so I mean, that's a plan that if I believed Emily actually was going, like maybe if like Bachwick and I like talked a little bit more regarding her relationship with Bailey, not just in general, that I would have felt more comfortable like doing and like going to her with. But I don't know. See, I don't know.
Yeah, because when I suggested this to her, she was kind of saying similar things. It was like it would have depended on when you would have told her and how much time she would have to think, and like if there was any evidence towards it.
Yeah, I feel like, and this probably would have been like not the best way to go about it with like my anxiety at the time. I think I probably would have just defaulted to telling her at like the 30 minutes in between the challenge and the tribal, but that, I feel like that would have fully like backfired on me. It's really just how I felt like every single week is back against the wall, like I'm going to go home if not. uh so no, I wish I could have played longer with Emily, but I think that was a good move. I think that was a smart move for me.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely caused a blow up afterwards. So
You're
much
killing it
so
with
that
these transitions.
I know. Oh, I was gonna make a. I thought of somebody with transitions, but I couldn't think of it. It went out of my head. I think it was an IMHO joke. So yeah, we needed 2 weeks to think about what was happening with the Emily after the Emily B vote. Well, you guys had to deal with it right there. What what was like the raw version of the Leia Bailey blow up, pretty much?
Oh, it was that was a moment in history for me, especially because that was kind of like where the game really like turned, and I was just, it felt like I was just getting hit back after back after back, and then to like not even like not really witness the conversations between like Leia and Sam and Cooper and Leia and like vice versa and all that. Because I really wasn't like ever pulled like, hey, we want to talk to you. Hey, I want to talk to you, Adam. Or like, hey, I just want to pull you into a room separately and like yell at you. It was always like, well, Adam is here right now. So I'm going to yell at him regardless of what he has to say. And honestly, looking back, I wish I just had left like Andrew and Megan did. Maybe I could have escaped like being there, and maybe that's why like people were like upset with me at the moment, just because like I was there, but I was like, I didn't want them to start like blaming it all on me, and I was feeling left out. Like I was literally being like isolated out of all these conversations, aside from when we were all in that one little group, and like Bree and Bailey have their go at me. Um, I like, they, in between like them yelling at me and like Sam and Cooper, I like went off to the side and like cried in a little vestibule for a little bit. Um and it was just like, wow. It really felt like Cooper and Sam could like play the game and get away with whatever they want, and I'm not allowed to play my own game. And if I do, then I lose these people as friends. Like that's really fucked up. And then honestly too, like afterwards, something was said in like our main like group chat with all the alumni that has played Survivor Michigan, and like Emily had just been voted out. I was like in home in bed, like once again like filming the dramatic ass confessional, and she like said something in the group chat that was directly like being like upset with me, like basically like shitting on me for like voting her out publicly, like in the alumni group chat. Um, and that was just like, well, I'm just getting beat down left and right, and like I'm not allowed to play the game, and people who are voted out hate me, and people in the game hate me, and it's just like I don't know what to do anymore. Um, so it was just, it was a lot for me mentally. And I think honestly that's when I like really cracked the game. Like at that point the game was like taking its like wear and tear on like me and everyone, but like this for me is where like the game like started like playing me. And I was just kind of like going along with it and like trying to like stay at the top, like, trying to make sure I'm not getting crushed by everything, and just like if I can walk out of this with like a win, maybe it'll be worth it. um but yeah, no, it very much clouded like that night, and Bree and Bailey's reactions like never stopped affecting me through the game.
Yeah, I mean, y'all took like a 3-day break of just not even a break. Y'all just would not talk to each other,
Yeah.
and I kind of get that because I'm gonna admit it. I cried over an org. Someone was like, I played a Survivor org. I cried. I was telling, okay, I'm gonna need time where I just don't talk to anyone, so I'm just going to be silent.
Hmm.
So just to let you know, and I think you and Sam talked about it in the most recent episode where it's like you talked about how like playing emotionally is always like looked down on, and I was kind of like, oh, what they're saying I kind of relate to because I have a tendency to because I recently just watched a Survivor I played in that was recorded about a year and a half ago, and how I kind of went to the end with somebody who I was I felt like I was a friend with, and who everyone was saying like, "Oh, they're obviously going to win. Like, you're just going to be the goat." And it's just like, well, I'm still going to go to the end with them because one, I like them, and two, they're the only one that's going to work with me. Obviously, there's people telling me nowadays where it's like, "I would have worked with you." It's like, well, you didn't make that obvious when we were playing.
Bury that. Bury that.
Yeah, it's like you can say in your confessionals and how you yourself thought, "Oh, I would love to play with this person," but you gave no hint.
Yeah. And plus, at that point, honestly, I was at a place socially, like, what am I trying to say? I was at a place mentally that within a social context, I just thought everyone hated me. Like, I
Oh,
felt very like,
been there.
oh, like they just look down. Like, I just have like really bad social anxiety to the point where I would be like invited to parties and then walk halfway there and break down and cry and go home. Like, just at that point, my anxiety was really high and Survivor was not helping. Um, so it's just like, you know, I just wanted those bonds like real fast, and so I went with the vibes and went with my emotions, and like that's all I ever wanted to do is just be true to myself, and like I'm not gonna like change who I am for like a silly little game, you know. As much as I want attention and I want people to like me, I'm very stubborn with how my personality is.
Yeah, you got me looking for attention.
Exactly, exactly.
I mean, we've all been in those situations where it's like you're out, and then all of a sudden you just start crying. I mean, I still remember
Yeah,
this one time a lad like showed interest in me, and it was like, did the cold consultation because I just got out of a breakup at that point, and very nice, very lovely. But it was at a point where it's like, I need to go home and try and figure something out because I feel like I'm going to cry. And then you just
exactly.
come home, lie in your bed, cry for about 20 minutes, and then fall asleep.
Exactly, exactly. Listen, I always support a good cry. As much as much as people dog on me for like being emotional, and it like kind of is like a little bit of an insecurity I have with being too emotional. I like
Mm,
love my emotions. I love having an impactful cry. I love crying to music, you know. I like to believe that if you don't act like the main character, you're never going to be the main character. So, I'm going to cry in the rain to my music. I'm going to text my therapist in front of like a grave of my dead grandmother. I'm going to have a little dramatic moment in that moment because that's what I need to feel and that's what I need to do to get through and process. That's just how it is. And we look back at it and we laugh a little bit, but it's as long as you're not hurting nobody, as long as you're not hurting yourself, have those moments.
yeah, and in the game of Survivor, it's almost like people are like, stop being human. Stop.
Dead ass, dead ass, and they're
It's
like
like,
nuance. Who heard of her? Who heard of her? Not me.
no. Now, after Emily, we kind of get the whole Megan situation.
Oh,
Now,
love my life, Megan.
if you were afraid of the Lucy stands, the Megan Mafia were like probably pitchforks on you once that episode was released.
See, I wouldn't know. I left the Discord. I don't look at the comments. I was like, bye bye, bitch.
I was wondering that because I swear I was like trying to find you to message you about this, and I was like, I could have sworn he was on the Discord. Where the fuck is he?
No,
I was
I
like, I'll
said
just go to.
goodbye.
I don't blame you. Like
I took my
Discord is
piece and
just
I ran.
yeah, Discord is just like, oh god. I still remember that one. I don't remember. I think it was the Sarah episode. And there's this one idiot that was going off on it, being like, "Here's why the season's terrible and why y'all should hate it," despite me not having seen the episode.
I mean, listen, people are going to feel how they're going to feel. And I'm never one to be like, you are not allowed to have an opinion. Um, I just would say that, like, people read, people have feelings. And yes, I am tone policing you because you never know where someone is at that moment. Um, that being said, like, you can hate the season. I understand. I think for me, I have obviously like rose colored glasses. I've had people very close to me and people not close to me at all tell me they love the season. Um, and I have had people tell me that it's boring as shit. You know, it's a game of Survivor either way, and depending on your own personal play style and then your own personal like self delusion of how you would do in a Survivor game, you know, you're gonna like love or hate certain people, and that's either gonna like set you up or set you down.
Yeah, and I think Ian said at some point, like everyone in the season has a villain moment. There was
Yeah.
a one point where you're rooting for no one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was always rooting for myself, as you could see throughout the show. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just yeah. I I get it. I wish people would keep the negative comments to themselves, you know.
Or just start a
But
podcast.
or yeah, start a podcast. You know,
Make
I
it
think that's a great way for people to like vent out their anger because then you can like market off of it. If you're giving away your hate for free and you're not profiting off of it, what are you doing? Like we live in
yeah.
the time where hate is like the most profitable. So if you're gonna hate on Survivor, at least profit on
Yeah, like, come on, why do you think I do this? The goodness of my will?
it. We do it for the attention and the internet clicks, and that's payment enough.
Exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like Eugene said it best, you got me looking for attention.
Work. Exactly.
Great, now I got hype boy stuck in my head.
You're welcome.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, Megan. Now, it wasn't initially going to be Megan. It wasn't supposed to be Megan. People didn't want it to be Megan. But those last 10 minutes, or half an hour, those last few minutes, it just ended up being Megan.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, if it wasn't Megan, it was going to be you. Plus, we had Emily's horrible advantage vote that everyone was worrying about. That poor girl got the stupidest advantages this
Oh, she
season.
really was an advantage queen this season, wasn't she? She really got every
Yeah,
damn thing in the book, and none of them helped her.
no.
It was so sad to
So,
watch. It was so sad to watch.
yeah, I said this to her. It's like she got like the unluckiest advantage. It's like you got an idol that we all know now was fake. You got a terrible advantage that doesn't affect your game. It affects when you get voted off. And when you got picked to have an advantage, it's just an idol clue that half the people already knew.
Yeah, it's Survivor's so rough for Bachwick. She always gets so unlucky, and it's so hard to see because she's like also really good. She's like one of the smartest people like I've met.
Yeah, when I was talking to her, she was always in this situation. She was in this in her first season as well, where it's like, I hate everyone, but Emily seems okay.
Oh,
It's like,
Savu Savu.
yeah, it's like everyone like hated everyone on Savu Savu except Emily, and then everyone hated everyone in the seven except Emily. It's like I even remember people in like her vote off episode. I was like, why did it have to be her out of all the seven? Like, she
Yeah.
always
I
ends up in
knew.
these.
Oh, you have no clue how much I've like been sitting on all this knowledge and being like, these people hate the show, and it's not gonna get better for them. For these specific people, some people loved it. Most people
Yeah,
loved it actually. The very small, very vocal minority really does not like it.
oh, if you don't like the season, just hate watch the season.
Actually, I would say don't hate watch the season. Don't do that to yourself. Protect your peace. Like shout out to Glenn on Twitter. They just stopped watching this season, and I respect them for it. They called me toxic and stupid, and I'm okay with that. You know,
My favorite
protect
Britney Spears songs.
toxic
Well,
and
she has
stupid.
yeah. Now I have an NMIX song stuck in my head.
Work. Shout out to
That
Glenn on
always
Twitter though.
happens. That always happens whenever somebody says like any sentence. If it has a word in a song that I know, I just think of that song in my head and start singing it.
I feel you. That's how I'm very in the moment. Random fun fact that popped up in my head when we were doing the endurance challenge. I was
Uh,
I had a really bad Steven Universe phase. My
uh,
that at that time. So I was singing on repeat, like whispering to myself, like focusing. I was singing Other Friends, the Spinell intro track, because I was like, I'm gonna be like, hi, bitch,
That's
I'm
right,
your
I
other
heard.
friend now. Like,
Who am I? Who am I? What are you even
you even
saying? I'm the
saying
loop. I'm the loop.
of the
Fun.
game, you didn't know you were
Didn't know you were
playing.
playing.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
play
love that
another.
song. That's a great song.
Fun fact: I make these song association videos. I've done
Oh,
it
I
for all
see.
the, and that
Oh, I
was the
see.
song I. That's the song I gave Abby in my season 2 one, because I was going through a phase where I just kept listening to that one song, and I've never seen Steven Universe.
You just get it, Lee. You get it.
Yeah, you might like your this season song.
I'm I'm always excited for a song association. I love music and the emotion it conveys and like what it could potentially mean for each person. It's so cool.
Yeah, I also really like how easy it is to come up with songs with these people. So far, the only difficult one was I want to say Jackson, only because it was so hard to find a song for him. It's
Yeah.
like I had an
He's like
idea, but it was hard to find. He's his own anomaly.
he is the oatmeal raisin cookie of the season.
Yeah, I still can't believe that was like that's how he's described. I'm an oatmeal raisin cookie. How does that even make sense? Make that make sense, people.
I see, here's my thing. I think a lot of his friends are like dude broy or just like dudes. And so
Yeah, very
they're all
straight.
and very compared to that, Jackson is like a little more quiet, reserved, and like a little bit more like cool and like smooth than like typical lawyer
Yeah,
kids that I've met. So if those are his friends, or if his friends are more dude broy, I get it. I get it. You are an oatmeal raisin cookie, but that's my favorite kind of cookie. So I don't think he should be like touting that around as an offense to himself.
I don't think he is. I
Good,
think
good.
he's
He
just
shouldn't
randomly saying it.
work.
I'm more like chocolate. I don't like raisins.
That's fair. See, I love a raisin. I love a dried
Oh no,
fruit.
I don't. I got sick off them once and never
Oh,
again.
betrayal.
Yeah, I was like what 8, and we had to eat them in school because we had this whole food dudes thing for like Health Week, and I was trying to eat the raisins because you had to eat all of them to get the prize, and then I had some, and then I kind of got sick afterwards.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Oh my god. Mm-mm.
I wanted that straw. It
See
was
the
even
dedication. Will
the,
you eat a jar full of raisins for Survivor?
no. I'd be like, give me like some disgusting stuff. I probably still wouldn't eat it. I'm very picky. I'm so happy they stopped doing eating challenges.
Me
Because,
too. I have a weak stomach.
yeah, me too. I cannot. I don't even like certain foods. Like, I don't like cheese. But yeah, I'd have it on something like a pizza. I'm just
I could.
awkward.
I get ya. I get ya. I'm lactose intolerant, so I get ya.
Yeah, I'm not. I just don't like milk.
Okay.
I can
Oh,
have it.
see,
I just,
I don't like milk.
yeah. It's like I can have it. I just choose not to have it because I prefer not to. I'll take an ice cream, just not milk. Cream. What were we on about?
Megan. Megan. Oh my god, we haven't talked about
Megan.
Megan.
No, everyone is sitting and I was like, hurry up and talk about Megan. Why were you? Oh, I just want. I want to mention this.
Oh my god, yes. So many people ask. Oh, shout out to Sasha. I love Sasha. Always. Thank you for keeping me sane in the Discord when I was there. I was shirtless in that challenge because it was this big baggy challenge, and I didn't want it to like. I didn't want the fabric from my hoodie. It was like a thin hoodie, but it was like a very like itchy, scratchy fabric
Oh,
that
one
like
of
weighed my
those.
arms down, and it like was like this big on my wrist. So I didn't want it like weighing my arms down during the challenge. So I just took it off. You know, I as much as I'm like with my body, I'll take my shirt off in public. I love the attention. If people aren't gonna like be like, if he's so hot and sexy, they'll at least be like, that's a person with their shirt off, and that's good enough for me. That's good enough.
I mean, you joined the club of pretty much almost every Michigan guy taking their shirt off, which is
Oh yeah,
becoming a
exactly.
thing. I mean, I was suggesting Ian Michigan OnlyFans, like may help bring the revenue up, and I'm not complaining. I like seeing some of these people with their shirts off.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
I was living for it every single time. I was like, yes, we need more
yeah.
nudity. More
Yeah, I
nudity.
mean,
XXX
Sam
Survivor Michigan.
Sam was almost like bare ass naked in when he was drunk in that one scene.
Oh my god, that was so funny. That was a wild
Yeah,
time because I was very not sober for that event.
neither was he. You had Cooper stripping right at the beginning, like being like, "I am no idol."
These
Like,
boys, they were gonna take their shirts off, and we should applaud
yeah,
them for it. We should applaud them for it.
yeah. Oh god. Yeah, I need to get that thought out of my head. I've said
Megan,
worse stuff. Megan, yes,
Megan, Lee,
Megan.
Megan.
Right, Megan. How did what was like you and Megan had this like very up down roller coaster relationship where you started off as like the bestest friends and then kind of ended up in the situation you ended up in.
Yeah. So like unfortunately, I think it just came down to the reason why I had a good relationship with Megan in the first place was because she was like a girl in from season 4 and didn't try to vote me off and wasn't a liability to my game, which all the other like the other 2 season 4 players were in some
Yeah,
combination of those. And so I just like instantly like was like, thank God Megan's on my team because if it was Jackson or Tom, well, if it was Tom, I probably would have been fine. I
because he would have
think
been sent home.
I think there would have been Sam trying to work with Tom, but I feel like that I would have snooped out if it was right in front of me, and I would have gone with Aaron and Akshay. Um,
If only
weird
Tom was on your tribe.
scenario if Tom was on my tribe instead of Megan, but I was so grateful that Megan was on my tribe, and finding out that she had a little bit of a connection with Sam, like really like made me a little more eager to work with her as well, just trying to like find connections because I really the only people I knew on that tribe were um or Aaron and Dylan, working with them in 4.5, and I didn't really have like a most successful time working with them in 4.5, so I figured maybe I should just work with Megan. And I don't know. I don't regret forming that bond, even though it didn't really like come to fruition. It was kind of nice, like us kind of trying to like work with each other, and then both of us kind of like fucking it up each time. Like with her leaking like the Bailey and then the Cooper plan, and then me with like using a fake idol against her boyfriend and um, telling Sam about her willing to flip.
Hmm.
But it was a nice little back and forth. I loved it. I love Megan. She's a sweetheart. I feel bad for the way that I came across. I know a lot of people had a lot to say about that. I apologized to her though, and she was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like,
Yeah.
"She is so
She
far removed
fully,
from this game. She does not give a shit. I don't know why I'm
yeah,
apologizing. These people got me in my feels."
yeah. It's like she fully does not care. Michigan's behind her. She's grateful with the experience, but she wants to leave that in the past.
She
And she
said,
had
"I
it
think I should
rough.
just go." She
Yeah,
said, "I think I go.
I'm going home.
I'm going home now." The Bendel of the season.
Yeah, and ultimate fan favorite. And if she got to the end, she would have. Well, maybe not that part, but
Yeah, I'll be honest.
if the
I'll be
audience got to
honest.
pick,
I think so. I think someone said it in an earlier podcast. No one was, unfortunately, like no one was really realizing the power that Megan had this game, especially post merge. Once Jackson left, it kind of was just like, all right, Megan's an extra vote that I have like that if I positioned her well enough, I could use. That's kind of how most people like saw her like dead in the water. Obviously, I don't think she would have been like a 0 vote finalist. I think if
no.
she gets up there, she could fucking kill it. But at that point in the game, no one was really like, I'm going to vote out or I'm going to vote for Megan to win. No one thought she was going to make it. People wanted her to come, wanted her to make it with them, but no one thought she was going to make it. At least that's from
Yeah,
like my perception of how the game was at that moment.
yeah, and well, you voting for her, like if you didn't vote for her, you would have sent her home. You would have sent yourself home, and imagine doing that, not voting for someone and
Exactly.
ultimately
Like,
sending yourself home.
oh, what a fucking idiot, Like
Yeah,
only
I mean,
stupid people would do that.
Pulling a
Ugh.
Tyson, pulling a Jackson.
Only someone so far up someone's ass
Someone's,
would do that.
yeah, someone's
I think that's such a
non-existent
fun quote.
ass.
Shout out to Austin. I'm going to butcher his last name because I can't remember it right now. Um,
Season 3,
I was
Austin.
so far. No, Austin from Survivor Maryland. It starts with a T, but I just see
Oh, yeah, that one.
Maryland's mascot is the Terps, and so I want to say Austin Terp. It's not Austin Terp, and I can't remember
I
for the
actually
life of
think
me. I'm
it's
sorry.
Austin Turp. Isn't that his
Is it
Twitter
Terp?
name? Isn't
I
that his
don't
Twitter
remember.
name? I could have sworn.
I zero clue. Listen, the man hates me. Maybe, maybe not, but he's pretty, so I'll let him hate me.
Oh, yeah, fully. I actually think, yeah, his surname is Turp, or
Word. Okay.
at least that's his Twitter name.
Okay. Work. I'm glad I could remember that.
Maybe he won't hate you now.
uh, I
Nah,
mean, hit me up. I don't know. You're pretty. That's all I
yeah.
gotta say. That's like my
Maryland has a
one
lot.
thing.
Maryland has a lot of pretty guys, and so does Survivor Syracuse. I know Survivor Syracuse has a lot of pretty ones. I feel like we can go on another tangent on like most attractive college Survivor people.
I mean, here's the thing. I've never seen Survivor Maryland. I have tried to watch it. I don't have an attention span, which is actually really funny considering I was originally going to go to the University of Maryland with the intention of playing Maryland Survivor, and actually like had the phone number of someone on production because this guy who I was doing like an overnight stay in my senior year of high school at his dorm, like mentioned it and like got me his phone number, and they were like, we don't let freshmen play, which is smart. Which is smart. Don't let freshmen play. Love all the freshmen, but like you will be thankful.
I mean, there are some freshman Survivor winners
See, I
in
who wait
completely
who?
other. I know there's one in Survivor Boston.
Oh my god, that's iconic. I could never. I was a mess freshman year of high or college. Like I would not have been able to do anything.
Yeah, I know there's at least one. I'm not the best with majors and years, but I do know there's at least one freshman winner in the world. And yeah, she was a freshman who did not know Survivor. She knew Big Brother, but not Survivor.
That's actually iconic.
I mean, some of the best Survivor, I keep wanting to say Survivor Michigan. Some of the best college Survivor players have never seen the show. I mean, Mallory.
That's so interesting to me. I love that. I love that people like the adaptability of some people are just so good that it doesn't matter. You know,
Yeah.
they'll just since it's a social game, at its base core, since it's a social game, people will just like naturally fit into that puzzle and like work their magic that they normally do in their lives. Like that's the best part about Survivor.
Yeah, I mean, look at Mallory. She had no idea what Survivor. She thought she was signing up to an actual Survivor thing, like camping, and she won.
She's love Mallory. I think I met Mallory once, and she was a delight.
Wow. She's probably like, Survivor what? She still
I
has never
mean,
seen the show.
honestly, yeah, and she's living her best life.
Yeah. I was like, Mallory, don't watch the show.
I mean, I don't know. I think she is watching it.
Wait, is she?
Someone from the older season is watching it, and they just sent something in our alumni chat being like, "Don't you guys have class?" I forget who, but
It's
they
Lavana.
the alumni are watching. The alumni are loving it.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So that's Megan. I think we're now up to this last episode, the episode of your existence, where you managed to do something, another impossible thing that no one thought was possible. You got on the list.
I know. My one goal, apparently.
Yeah, you were talking about lists earlier. I was like, ooh, don't mention lists. It triggers the fans.
See, it pissed me off too at the time. That was so frustrating the entire time. So to be put on the coveted list, I was like, well, at least I got something out of it, you
Yeah,
know.
it is RuPaul's best friend race when at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it's always RuPaul's best friend
Yeah.
race.
I mean, you took Cooper's spot on the list. Like, Cooper, you're out, Adam, you're in.
I see. I was not even paying attention for that bit. Did I really? That's cool. That's
Well,
cute.
Cooper's now off the list because Leia's no
Well,
longer
yeah, no, I
taken.
mean, I didn't know she like was like, fuck Cooper. Adam is now my new Cooper. Like that one meme where it's like, fuck what's his face? This is my new best friend or whatever. Old Facebook memes. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's really iconic. I know Sam told me that one time in a meeting. She was like, "You made the list." And I was like, "Okay, well, is she gonna vote with me? Like, that's cool." Like,
Yeah,
what's with the
she
vote? Like, are we voting Bailey? Like,
and it was originally going to be Bailey, but I feel like this has been happening the last 3 or 4 tribals, where the
yeah,
decision has like the past few days mean nothing, and it all just get changes in the last 10 minutes.
that's just how it was. Like, it was. It's so hard to keep a plan a secret in that game, and it was gonna get leaked eventually. Um, it was just like, will people have enough time to do something about it? And when I went to go take that piss, something was done about it. That was the longest piss of my life. I remember that piss because I sat there being like, they are playing the game without me, and I am here because I drank an entire bottle of water before I walked 30 minutes to this tribal. Yeah.
You
Maybe
were
I don't know.
Jenning.
I don't know if the vote happens if I don't take that piss. Who knows?
Who knows?
Um,
I feel like I was also wondering, like, where is Adam in this situation?
yeah, no, I
Now
was in a
you are,
porta potty.
yeah, you were the Jen and Keisha of Amazing Race 18, really niche reference, where they go to the
Yeah,
bathroom. Amazing Race. These two people. It was like final four. It was between this one team of sisters and a brother and sister team, and the sisters were ahead. But one of them had like 4 bottles of water to help them in a challenge that was like eating something disgusting, and they had to go
mhm.
to the bathroom. And while they were in the bathroom, the other team overtook them and took the final spot in the final, and they got eliminated.
Rip. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't when I first got voted out, and I didn't find out until after the season how like that vote came to be. I was just told that like Bree did it, man. Bree made that her move, which I was like, I was honored to be like Bree's like resume move. Like that's everything to me. But yeah, yeah. What you gonna do? I almost the thing that I like the way I see it is I'm very proud that I was at least semi decent in like my positioning to where if I wanted to, I could have stayed. But I that last vote, like I said earlier, like I really tried to like as emotional as I was throughout the game, I really tried to make sure that like my emotions didn't control my decision. And that was the one move that I let like my emotions like control my decision at the end of the day, and it's the move that got me out. So yeah, but what a way to go
Yeah.
out. Like I was like sitting there, I like leaned over to Sam in between like the reading of the votes and him casting. I was like, no matter what, we're good. Like this is like I'm like you're so cool and you're like a friend to me. So we're good no matter what. And that's like the only thing I wanted to like make sure these people know is like no matter how hard you leverage your relationship with me in this game, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. That was a heartbreaker. That was a heartbreaker, though, seeing Sam vote me out. That was a heartbreaker.
yeah. And I mean, no one's ever first ever vote count of a 2 to 2 to 2 to 1 doesn't exist in all of
Icon.
Survivor.
Icon.
You
Not
you
as
didn't even
iconic as the It's Liz moment, but a very, very similar vibe. And I love that.
yeah, it's definitely like a moment of the season. But the season is like so. I swear, every time a Pawnee member goes home, it's such a moment. The Akshay vote, where it was like a split decision. The whole Dylan situation. Aaron's it's personal. The way Lucy went home, the whole
Mhm.
Megan of it all, and then your vote off was this. Either Sam gets voted off in a brilliant way, or he wins the season. Watch Sam like go out at 4, but it's like a tiebreaker situation. Really be a part of the like Pawnee excellence. This
You're
is a
not
great
getting anything
drive.
out of me, Lee. You're not getting anything out of me.
No, you're not going to tell me who wins the season. What do I have you on here for?
Listen. I'll DM me my Venmo, okay? I'll DM me.
Great. I need a couple of shots in you. Maybe you'll spill your. Maybe you'll spill it. Maybe
Oh,
if I,
see, that's how you play me. That's how you play me. I'm a little
maybe I'll
sucker for
start.
a little shot, a little free shot.
Yeah, Yeah, I'll give you a couple of shots and I'll start crying, and then I might get the words out of you. I
Oh,
need to have Bailey.
it takes me a little bit. It'll take me a little bit. You're gonna need at least like a good half of a bottle there, Lee. It's gonna tank your net worth a little bit. But
Mhm.
if you want it so bad, I put you up to the challenge.
Here, maybe I need to get Bailey on. I hear she can never keep a secret, so she just spills everything.
Icon, Bailey and Icon.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you fall for the Bailey curse that I'm now inventing. Every time somebody votes Bailey, they go home in that tribal. Tom voted Bailey, he went home. Patty voted Bailey, she went home. Kevin voted Bailey when he wasn't supposed to. He went home. You voted Bailey, you went home.
I
The
mean,
Bailey
Bailey
curse
was
is
my
real.
it is real. I'm gonna have this. I honestly, I never noticed that before. Um, yeah, no, it's so funny. Bailey was my producer for season 4,
Oh,
and
really?
no one really sees it this way. But when I was in like at the season 4 after party, they were explaining, or like maybe it was like during, I forget, sometime during season 4, either before it started or after. People were like, "Yeah, that's like your producer is kind of like your big." So I've always called Bailey my big, and to play with like my big in All
Uh,
Stars, and for her to vote me off and us to like fight each other, it was hot as shit. I loved it. I was eating it up.
yeah, I recently learned what that is when I was covering a different college survivor series.
Oh,
Because,
bigs and littles.
yeah, it's like a sorority thing or something.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to Greek life, but there's some
Yeah,
uses. Like little cute shit like that. If Greek life was just about being cute and having cute little like families, I would love it.
yeah, not this whole stereotype of like when Camila was on, it's like, oh, you're a fee girl, which I still don't get to this day.
I don't either. I don't know any of the frats by name. I just know places where I have like thrown up and places where I have not thrown up.
Yeah, it's like sororities are really big in Survivor Michigan. You have the fee girl, you have Scratha, and that's literally
Yeah.
it. It's literally just Camila was referred to as the fee girl, and Lucy's nickname was Scrappa because that was her sorority name. Your fun fact is that you're part of a group.
That's such a wild take from Nate. Nate is such a wild person. I love him.
Yeah, that was actually Maggie in season two.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
That sounds
when
like something Nate would say. Sorry.
Nate was the whole, oh, you're a fee girl.
Work. I'm glad Nate did something similar. But yeah, that's probably why I love Maggie too. Maggie's wild.
Yeah, season two is my favorite season, so there's a lot
Oh,
of great
season
people.
2 is a great season.
The amount of quotes, at least we don't sleep with our tribe members and go home or vote them off.
Top it. Nothing can top it.
I was really hoping this is probably really mean, but I'm really hoping somebody was like, at least we don't sleep with production to Bailey and have our secrets leaked.
Oh,
If Megan was
see,
that
such a
petty.
moment. Such a moment. That would have been such a moment.
Yeah, and for any Bailey stands out there, I like Bailey. I just like thinking of these moments as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everything I can think of. Is there anything you want to talk about that I haven't mentioned that you want to like get off your chest?
Um, Probably. I don't remember it though. Um, I don't know. Uh, I love being cringe, and that's fun to me. I find most of you cringy. I guess that's my final words. But no, this has been like a wonderful time. I truly like treasure like Survivor Michigan and kind of everything it has done for me personally. It really was like the beginning of a pivot in my life where I was like, oh my god, I can like exist within society and not be like this like weird, dorky, like anxious mess all the time. And like it honestly inspired me to get therapy. So thank you, Survivor
Woo!
Michigan. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, everyone like who like
Yeah,
helped produce it. I'm a sentimental bitch. Some people find it unnecessary and annoying, but it's like
we
I'm
all
feeling
do
it
it.
and I'm feeling it. So deal with it.
We all do annoying stuff. I mean, I have this horrible habit of singing out loud, and it's always K-pop. So
Nah, sing it, sing it.
I would now, but I don't know the words, and I can only sing it when it's blasting my ears. I
Word.
don't speak. I don't speak Korean, and it's not a weird interest for those of you who voted Brie for that one superlative.
It's not a weird interest, but compared to everyone else's interests, it was weird. But
What happened?
I love the K-pop girlies. I don't have the mental fortitude to exist within that community, but I
Don't
support the
bother.
people who do.
Yeah, I only listen to girl groups. I don't really listen to boy groups at all.
That's my best friend. My best friend only listens to the girl groups.
It's because they're so much better.
You know what? I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, BTS people don't come after me. I like one of their songs.
I
There's
have dope
one
on my
song.
playlist.
Yeah, I have Mic Drop on mine.
There you go. We go.
Yeah,
That's our quota.
yeah, there we go. So you don't need to come after us, and I'm fully prepared if Brie somehow comes on this, just probably to go on and on about actual K-pop and not even about the show.
And she should. Honestly, I'd pay. I'd pay to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of times I go on about like the actual Survivor show or Drag Race or the challenge on these things, it's far too much.
Nah, never too much.
Yeah,
It's a reality show podcast, and honestly, you're probably your audience probably all of those fandoms in one. So,
probably. Oh, who are you team Final Four season 15 wise?
okay, see, they're all so great, and seeing the Twitter drama, I don't want to say, but I'm Team Mistress all the way. She is coming to Michigan next month, and I've told my friends like schedule out a date because I'm going to go at the beginning of this club's opening, and I'm going to give Mistress a $20 bill, and she's going to shake her titties in my face, and that is all I want. That is all I want. So I'm Team Mistress, but I'm for me, I'm like it's Sasha's game to win at this point, right? Like, yeah, and that's Anitra and Lux are like really good at what they do, and they're gonna make great all-star winners one day. But
Yeah, I mean, I'll be happy no matter which one of them wins. I'm Team Anitra, but I'll be very
I
happy
mean,
no
yeah,
matter.
she's iconic.
Yeah, I mean, from ever since that first episode, I'm like, okay, I want this one to win.
Yeah.
But
Although she's been having some beef with my favorite Aja. Aja is my favorite.
I like
So
Aja
anyone Aja
too.
hates, I hate. That's just like that's loyalty right there.
I'm in the camp where it's like I can love them both.
See, we say that, but like we know the real. We know the real.
This is another war off to happen. Which is worse, Drag Race Dans or the Megan Mafia?
I would
Let's have
say
a
there's a
war
lot of
between them.
crossover. There's a lot of crossover in between the two.
Yeah,
I would say actually they're probably just one circle. I'll be for real
they're
with you.
the they're the same person.
It's the same person. It's the same
Yeah,
picture.
it's like Andrew and Dale. They're the same person. Andrew is
That I
actually
didn't get.
Dale from the past.
That I didn't
No,
get. Shout out to Dale. Oh my god, when I got voted out, Dale like sent me a paragraph long like message like telling me how good I was and like how proud of me he was. It was like I like cried. Well, I was already crying because I was voted out, but I was crying even harder.
yeah.
Shout out to
Uh,
Dale.
I
He's awesome.
I did the after show with Dale, and he had nothing but praise for you.
See, I wish I could go back and watch it, but I will like spiral, so I won't.
Yeah, I was up till 5 in the morning doing
And
that.
you're such a trooper for doing those shows. I don't know how you do it. I would be crying every single time.
I feel like I've done like enough of these like things where I have to like most of the survivors I do MC survivors, which are Minecraft survivors,
Love
and
it.
a lot of the hosts live in the States and they take 14 hours to record, so I have to pull all-nighters.
Yeah, orgs are so bad with people who aren't living in the US. I remember when
Tell
I
me
like
about it.
when I was admin of Tumblr Survivor, RIP Tumblr Survivor.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
did
really
one of
do much.
those.
I know you did. It was so fun. You and my friend Lindsay did it together,
Oh
I
yeah,
believe.
Lindsay, she's gonna be on. Hey, do you watch a YouTube channel called The Drag Detective?
I do. I do.
He was on that season I did. That's Derek.
Wait, what? What?
That's the sa
Oh,
he's the same guy.
that's awesome.
I remember.
Listen, in the presence of greatness, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, I was like this because when I first heard his voice, it's like, why does he sound so familiar? And then, the Drag Detective channel posted a video with his face on it, and I was like, wait, he looks familiar. And then I saw his profile picture, and then I messaged him being like, hey, are you the Drag Detective? And he was like, busted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tumblr Survivor was wild. Thank God that thing is finally dead. It was
Yeah, talk about
love
robbed.
Tumblr Survivor, but I think everyone in Tumblr Survivor was happy that it was done.
Yeah, I'm happy I got to experience it, and talk about I was robbed that season.
You
Sent home
were,
with
you
one
were,
vote at the
you were.
merge. Ugh.
I was sad. I was like, someone I know of.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's very much me whenever I do one of these orgs, which is very rarely. It's like I kind of look for who I know of.
I
It's
feel
like I
you.
don't
I
say
haven't done an org in 9 months. I'm very proud of myself because I was
I
doing them like
haven't.
consistently for 3 years for a while.
Yeah, I was like, I wish I wanted to do that only because I want an excuse to like talk to these college people outside of like an interview situation.
I
Kind
get
of
you.
like
I get you.
force myself to like force them to talk to me. It's like talk to me. I'll vote you off if you don't. But no, I won't.
Work, work. No, I love orgs. My org time was really fun, but I ugh. Maybe I thought about doing an org at the beginning of March, and I'm really glad I did not do an org in the beginning of March.
Yeah. If there's a Survivor Michigan like 6.5 or 11.5, then I'd sign up and do that if I'm allowed. But other than that, no.
Yeah, I mean, I just hosted 9.5 over the summer. So maybe if I
Fine.
told them I wasn't gonna do host another point 0.5 because that was a lot for me.
Uh,
But maybe I'll do it again just to get you on, Lay. I like
yeah, I'll
talking to
have.
you, so like
Yay! Where was I during this season? Although to be fair, I would have not voted off anyone that was already sent home because it's like I like everyone. I would have had my own Leia list. It's like
work. I
here's
mean,
everybody
I
I
mean
want.
that's working. You gotta. It's working so far. You gotta like do it when you can, I guess.
We're at a point in the season where literally everyone left in the game except Andrew is on the list. Well, Cooper's now off it, but he was at least on it at one point. But Andrew's never been on the list and is still there.
Yeah, I would be happy. I'm so glad that after this is done airing, I never have to hear the word blanks list again. The way that permeated into like my psyche for 3 years. But I mean, listen, that's iconic. You cannot say that at least isn't like the most interesting story plot.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think it's doing good. I think Leia's just having a horrible time explaining it because
I
she's
think
definitely
she's
not.
just like having a horrible time. I don't think she's like having fun.
Oh yeah,
I think she
no,
had fun in general. I'm not going to put words in Leia's mouth, but like I don't think she was like enjoying what she was doing.
yeah. When it came to the voting part, she probably didn't enjoy it, but maybe it was like challenges and talking with people. Maybe she liked that part.
Yeah, there was one. I forget which tribal. I think it was after the Megan tribal. Me, Sam, and Leia all went to the Michigan Stadium to search for the idol. We didn't find it, even though it was like I might have been gone already because we like went to the Ingles Mall first and then the stadium.
Okay.
But we like searched there for an hour, and Leia kind of goes on this huge rant about how much she like hates Survivor, but she keeps playing it because you kind of just have to because you love the thrill of it and you want to like see it completed. And I was like, this is why I love and respect Leia so much. The dichotomy of two very strong emotions battling within yourself, I just relate to.
I hate this game, but I love this game, but I hate what it
Exactly.
does to me.
I've tried
I
to
feel like
explain it to both my partners and they will never understand it. It's just
no.
like it's something you have to experience.
Yeah, I mean, we love the game, but we do hate it. I think how many times have people gone up to the voting confessional, wrote down a name, and be like, "I hate this."
Exactly.
I,
Exactly.
yeah, that's one of the many Michigan drinking games. It's like take a shot every time somebody says, "I hate this."
Oh,
It go
on the ground.
Yeah, it goes on board with every time Leia mentions her thesis. every time Sam brings up his list, because he has a different list, uh, take a shot every time somebody cries, and take a shot every time you get annoyed with someone.
Oh, you got to limit yourself to at least an episode a month for that. That's you're not surviving after barely half an episode, especially some of these 2 hours. Oh,
Oh yeah, oh god.
yeah,
I still feel like some of these episodes can be cut down. Not all of them. Some of them need the 2 hours, but not all of
yeah.
them need to be an hour and a half. Looking at the
I
Sarah
mean,
episode,
I'll be honest. I like the longer episodes because that means
more
like,
screen time.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how Drag Race this season, everyone's like, give us back the hour episodes, and then we got it
Mhm.
back, and well, I don't know, nobody's complaining, but I have a horrible habit of just skipping through majority of the stuff.
I
I mean,
feel
I do
you.
that.
I'm
Yeah, I'm horrible for doing it in this season. I just have a habit of skipping confessionals because like I don't care, just get to the main point. I want to see who goes home. I'm too impatient.
mhm. Me with Drag Race. I just skip through to the challenge results and then the runway and the lip sync, and I just watch like the last 20 minutes. I don't care about the drama.
Yeah, I'm pretty much kind of like that as well. I watched maybe like a bit of it, and depending on who's telling the sob story, but it's mostly just watch the challenge, watch the lip sync, and then cry over who went home or be like they were robbed. The Anitra and Marsha one should have been a double save.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, but no, they had to make the double save the final episode, which I kind of think they were always planning to make it a top four, but they mentioned it a top three, so the final lip sync would feel more good.
No, no, I did not enjoy that. We're getting so off topically. It's been 2 hours.
Yeah, maybe this
These
is
poor
something that we can
people.
I think this is something we can discuss off the live. So
Agreed.
thanks, AJ, for joining me. You were one of my draft picks all the way in the beginning of the Michigan draft. You were my second pick. My first pick was ironically Sam.
I know. You don't know how loud I screamed when I saw your draft. I was like, "Oh, Lee is going to die."
And it was like everyone was asking, it's like, hey, will you give me Adam? And I'm like, no, I'm not giving you Adam or Sam.
I know. I
You
felt
can
so
have,
wanted at the beginning of the season.
yeah, it's like, I mean, people were picking you as their winner pick. People were like picking you early on the draft. It's like, I knew, it was like, some things tell me Adam's going to make it far and give me points. And I was right. Yay.
Yeah,
But
I'm
then I
proud.
had to
I'm
get the
very proud of what I
fucking
did.
wheel.
Oh, fuck that wheel. Why'd you do the wheel? I watched it. I watched it, and I
I
watched it
didn't get,
all. And I screamed.
I didn't get a choice in that
Oh,
wheel.
you
They
did
used it
it?
on me. No, it was
Oh,
like,
oh yeah, that was the advantage. Oh my god, yeah, that was
yeah, it's like, ah, for all people. And like I said, of course, the British is coming after me. Oh,
work. Work.
yeah. I'm. I think this is probably because I'm not from the States, or like I say so many things that people like. It's probably offensive. Like I remember when I went to the States for a holiday this summer, I said something about like, you know, I was like comparing a park I've been to. It was like an amusement park. I was like comparing it to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I just all that's missing is like a bunch of little orange people running around everywhere. And my partner at the time was looking at me with one of his faces, and I looked at him and was like, "Oh, that's probably something I shouldn't say out loud, right?" And then I accidentally said something where it's like, "Oh, it smells like a fag in here," and then everyone
Oh,
looked at me and was
see,
like,
I'm the type of
"Yeah," it's
person who
like,
I'll egg my straight friends on to call me a fag.
yeah, I do that on
That's one of my
purpose
favorite things
sometimes.
to do. I listen. If it don't work for you, fine. I find it fucking hilarious, and I like tell them like, hey, like it's
It's
only because
fine.
you know me, and it's only for me and used on me. If I ever I draw glide lines, but I don't know. I think it's funny. And then they won't say it, and I'm like, "You're a good ally. You're a really good ally."
Yeah.
But yeah,
When when somebody says it here, they're just asking for a cigarette. But whenever they say it, I always just be like, "I'm right here." But they think it's me being like, "I'm right here. Don't say that word." But they're saying, "Can does anyone have one?" I'm like, "Yeah, me. I'm right here."
no, I'd be using that all the time. I'd be using it.
Oh yeah, it's so fun seeing the reaction. It's like there's nothing more fun than making a straight person fear for their life.
The, no
The
comment.
fear of cancellation.
No comment. I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
Okay,
Anyway,
I'm gonna
these
I'm
poor
gonna
people,
end it.
Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna end the broadcast. I told you I'd go on tangent. Bye, everyone. We'll see you for another Michigan episode. Keep watching the season.
Bye.